he caught his son watching porn. That's tough.
To put my phone down, but now it's my kids. They got the phone. I'm trying to hang out with them. They got the phone.
And that's got to hurt because you kind of taught them to be like that.
Yeah.
Just from them modeling themselves after you, right?
Yeah. My son, always on his phone, always on Reddit. I'm like, boy, you watching you watching porn? And he's like, no, I'm in like video games or whatever.
Make sure you don't join the No Jumper Reddit. It's a wild place.
He probably knows about
Might already be in there.
My son, he got caught watching porn like when he was younger. And,
By you?
His mom caught him, and he got real embarrassed. His mom told me right in front of him. And I looked at him. He got real embarrassed. He was really red. But his mom is straight from Japan. Like, she don't understand. I said, listen, it's natural. The boy's going to watch porn. And then I got to thinking, it might be my fault that he was watching porn because one time he needed my phone to Google something. And when you Google, the last thing you was watching.
Fat asses.
The last thing I gave it to him, and he looked it up and stuff like that, and it was porn already. That's the last page I was watching. I was like, that might have been my fault.
I mean, he was gonna get curious either way at some point, right?
All I asked his mom, like, what type of porn was he watching? That's all I want. That's all I wanted to know. He was watching boy girl porn. I was like, okay, that's good.
I've thought about this a few times too, because it's like on one hand, you don't want him looking at it, but on the other hand, it's the most natural thing in the world. And realistically, even if I stop you from looking at it right now, how the fuck am I going to stop you from looking at it a week from now? It's like, it's not happening. They have a computer. They could use their friend's phone, whatever. Right. Well, if you use your friend's phone to jerk off, that's pretty weird. But just in general, it's like, they're going to find it.
They're going to find it. You can't shelter them from it. I remember when I was a kid, we used to look at those nudie magazines. We didn't have phones back then. But I remember. So right now, I think it's better that they got it on the phone because we couldn't go and buy it. We had to get nudie magazine, and I couldn't figure out why the pages were stuck together all the goddamn time. And then now I get older. I go back, and I wish I could go back in time to my youngest son. Don't touch that.
Yeah. No, because you would like have one friend who had a copy of Penthouse.
Yeah.
And you'd go over his house and just look at it together and just be staring at it like it was the most fascinating thing on earth. But what's in the Penthouse? There's nothing really that extreme. That's the worrisome part, is that your kid could start looking at porn and they go straight from looking at a naked girl to watching somebody do a gangbang right away.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you're free to watch that as an adult, but if you're a 12-year-old, I feel like seeing a gangbang might not be a good thing for your development.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's no way to shelter them from it. What you gonna tell your son? Son, don't watch gangbangs. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah,
there's nothing you can do.
And you don't want to tell them that because that is alerting them to the existence of it.
Exactly. Whatever you tell your kid not to do, think that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Whatever you tell them not to do, they're going to do it. My mom was telling me not to do stuff, but she didn't tell me why. If my mom would have told me, don't be sticking your dick in all these girls because you're going to have some unwanted pregnancies, I probably wouldn't have done it. Yeah. My mom, she taught me about STDs, and I've been good. That always, like, I still remember what she said. She told me, boy, everything that look good to you ain't good for you. My mom's real country, and that made sense to me. So a lot of times I've turned down a lot of advances from chicks over the years because I'm like, I just be wary, and so far I've been good, and but she told me not to have sex, but she didn't tell me why. So I've been fucking since I was young. I wish my mom would have told me, but at the same time I wouldn't have these wonderful kids, I guess.
But there are some things that your parents actually are capable of grounding into your head, though, because like my parents scared the fuck out of me that I was gonna get AIDS if I had sex without a condom. And really, like, probably 90% of the sex I was having for, like, the first 8 years, let's say, of my sexual life was protected. And then at some point, I just started fucking with no condom. But they scared the fuck out of me for a long time there.
Yeah. I heard stories. This one girl I was dating, she was like, I have to take a shower with you before we have sex. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I like being clean. She said, yeah, but I got to watch the water fall off your dick. I'm like, why? She said, my mama said, if the water drip off your dick, then you got AIDS. I was like, that's not how it works. The water drips off everybody's dick, right? That's not how it works.
I mean, How do you even talk to somebody who has such a poor understanding of like how the world works like that? Like, would you believe in fucking voodoo as well?
But remember, I told you I was having sex at a young age. So me and this girl, we was probably like 13, 14. So, you know.
One of the most shocking things a girl ever said to me was she sucked my dick in a parking lot, and then she rolled down the window and spit the nut out the window. And I go, what the fuck you do that for? She goes, well, I don't want to get herpes in my throat. And I'm like, I don't have herpes. And if I did, you would already have it.
Yeah.
It's not like swallowing the nut is going to be the thing that gives you it.
I know, man.
These kids need to smarten up. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I think they need more sex education on the internet.
Yeah, because you know the thing that really scared the shit out of me was when I went to health class when I was in high school and they showed you all the herpes outbreaks and shit. I don't want that. Like, it was terrifying. These dicks have like 15 fucking giant herpes on it. I would have done anything to avoid that as a 17-year-old kid, you know?
They showed that?
Yeah.
I didn't take sex education.
I remember that class better than any other class that I ever took the whole time because everybody in the class was sitting there just just like falling down and shit because it was so gross.
I want to get it to my youngest kids now. I want them to take that class. I didn't take that class.
To be honest, it seems kind of fucked up.
It's fucked up. Hey, but I have to actually, do you know about the hard piss though? You know about that trick?
Hard piss? No.
Okay, so if you ever have unprotected sex or you break your condom, you're supposed to within 20 minutes go and piss really hard. Even if you got a fart in front, you know, one of those hard pisses, then clean your dick off real good and you good. You won't catch anything. Even if she has something, you won't catch anything.
I've had friends over the years who swore that they could take like alcohol wipes and like swab their penis down afterwards, and that would kind of like rescue them from the STDs. I'm not sure, but it's worth a shot.
Yeah, but I don't see how they would get the.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because this hard piss, it cleans out your what you call it, urethra.
Urethra.
I call it urethra Franklin. I call it my urethra Franklin cord.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't know what it was called if it wasn't for Hank Hill on King of the Hill always talking about his narrow urethra. So he was having a hard time getting his girl pregnant because I guess his urethra was so small that the cum couldn't get out.
That's bad.
I'm pretty sure mine is like normal sized.
I think mine's normal size. Yeah. But so I didn't believe it either about the hard piss, right? But I was managed by this guy in England, and he read this book. It was like an old war book. And the general, whoever was over these soldiers, told them when they had sex with hookers, and they didn't have condoms or whatever, to just do the hard pee and clean up real good right after. And so
I'm gonna pee no matter what.
Yeah, but
I could pee a little harder, I guess.
Yeah, I push it out. Whenever I get paranoid, a condom break or whatever, I get paranoid and I push it in. He was the type of guy. He used to have sex with a lot of different women, and even his girlfriend was right there, and he would cheat on her all the time, and she was okay with it, whatever. And he said, "Look, actually," she said, "after I learned this, have I given you anything?" She was like, "No, he never brought me anything back before." He said, "But before I learned this, I was bringing her home chlamydia." But he said after he learned this, he wasn't giving nothing. Then so I had to take a test before I fought. I had to take a blood test before I fought, and I was in England, and I went to the whatever you call the clinic, and I said, "Hey, can I get an STD test as well while you take my blood?" She said, "Yeah." And I asked her the question. I said, I was told if I do a hard piss after we have sex, they would clean out my urethra Franklin, and I wouldn't catch the STD." She said, "Yes, that's true."
Really?
Yeah. So I tested it out. It's supposed to be true.
I mean, you got to get whatever's lingering in there out.
Yeah.
One way or another.
Yeah. I used to think that if I just jack off one more time, if afterwards,
Yo, we just hit.